Today on Geek Devotions, we're talking about Eye of the World by Robert Jordan and why Christians, as well as just general humans, need each other. Hello and welcome to Geek Devotions, the show from devoted geeks who are devoted to letting people know that they are loved. I am Celeste, and we are so glad that you have hit play today. Do me a favor, if you're new here, hey, we love you. That's the whole reason we do this, to let you know that you are loved. Don't forget that we have all kinds of other things. We have a website where there's articles coming out frequently. We have Comm Talk, where we have a podcast, which has various and sundry content that comes out from it. You know, like PRM, our musical podcast, B's Views and Reviews, and potentially some other things coming down the line. You should keep an eye on that because you never know what we're going to do. Also, don't forget to check us out on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as well as Twitch. We have a Patreon if you would like to help support what we do here, supporting our content that we read and watch and do and all that fun stuff, or just, being a part, because in reality, we can't do this without you. Even if you're not a Patreon supporter, we can't do this without the Devoted Geek community. So now we're going to get into today's devotion. Recently, I have been listening to The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. Now, I've had this book recommended to me. It's one of those that if you enjoy fantasy, everyone goes, oh, you should read this book. But I have a bit of a confession to make. It's really hard to get into it at first. It's very confusing. There's all kinds of wheels and time, and it's twisting, and it's ever going, and I don't know. It's weird. It was hard to get into in the first few chapters. So for years, I have tried to read this book. I own a copy. I've tried to read this book, and I couldn't get into it. Finally, I was like, you know what? Let me try the audiobook version. And oh boy, that was the key. Let this be a lesson to you. If there's a book that you're like, I feel like I'd enjoy this story, but I just can't get past this first few chapters, try listening to somebody else read it, because it might help hearing it rather than visibly reading it. Audiobooks are nothing to laugh at. They are fun stuff. So this whole story follows 4 young men, 2 young ladies, a woman who is called an Aes Sedai, and her companion or protector, who is called a warder. And they are, like most fantasy things, off to save the world. That's kind of what they do. The young men don't realize what's going on. The young women are just kind of pulled into it. They're, as the Aes Sedai says, they're woven into the pattern. And one of the things that you learn throughout this book is that there are no male Aes Sedai. There's none. They're not a thing. There used to be years and years ago, but something happened to where men can no longer handle what they call the one power, which is what Aes Sedai channel. Now, near the end of the book, Moraine, the Aes Sedai, the lady who is leading this expedition and handling all the big bads for them, says something that really struck home for me. She says this: male Aes Sedai and female together, the Green Man spoke true. The greatest wonders of the Age of Legends were done in this way. This statement got me thinking about Hebrews 10:24 through 25, which says, let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. Now, we know this, that as Christians, it is important to have interactions with one another. This is a fundamental part of our faith, to encourage each other, to stir one another up, to help each other through this walk. And with using the example that Robert Jordan has given us, males and females, women and men, it doesn't matter where you are, who you are, where you're from, what you look like, what you do. It is part of our faith that we have to interact with each other. So this is the point of today's devotion. I want to encourage you to find some Christians and go have coffee. Go have lunch. Go grab somebody that is a friend and go, hey, I have to go to Walmart. Do you want to come with me? Here at Geek Devotions, we strive to create a community where you can achieve this. You can have biblical community, interact with one another, love each other, encourage each other. And I think we're doing an okay job of creating that atmosphere. But don't neglect the face-to-face. Because while we love you, we pray for you, and we will be there for you as much as we can, we can't hug you. We can't come and help you move unless you live close to us, and then we might, pizza is always a good thing for moving encouragement. But we can't do everyday life in person with you. So find somebody in your church, find a church, find a good Christian friend to have this Christian community that is so needed in your life. Okay, guys, well, that was your devotion for the week. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, don't forget to check us out on the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Discord. Forgot about that one earlier. All the things. We also have the website where we release articles all the time. We currently have brought on 2 writers who write things, and we're making big plans for October. So that's coming down the line. Also, don't forget that you can be a part of of all that we do, just by donating. Simply $1 a month will help us do what we do here at Geek Devotions. Now, you can be a devoted geek and be a part of the devoted geek community, but if you're ready to take that next step and be a devoted Patreon geek, there are links below. And it is now time for the question of the week. The week. The question of the week is this: what is your favorite genre to read or listen to? Because, again, audiobooks are great. I personally recently have been highly into dystopian sci-fi fiction. I always am game for fantasy. So, that's a thing. I think Dallas likes detective stories. Yay. Honestly. I don't know, I don't speak for him, but that's what I've noticed that he really enjoys. Okay, guys, well, that is it for this week. With all that being said, stay devoted.
Peace and love.